to the OHSAA Boys Lacrosse local meeting on over and back. Upon gaining possession in the defensive half of the field, the team has 20 seconds to bring the ball across the center line. Once they do that, they will have 10 seconds to advance the ball into the goal area. Once these two counts are satisfied, the over and back rule applies to that team. If the team causes the ball to touch or cross the center line, a turnover will result. And remember, they have to be the last to touch and the last to possess. The result of this is an immediate whistle or, in a rare occasion, a play on. What do we need to be aware of as the ball nears the center line? The biggest thing is, was the 10-second goal area count satisfied? Because if it wasn't, it doesn't matter where the ball goes on the field, that 10-second count continues. And either we touch it in the goal area before the 10-second count expires, or if we get to 10 seconds, it's a violation. We also need to be good partners, so we need to communicate. If that ball is rolling near the center line, we need to communicate to our partner, yes, 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 it is a potential violation, or no, 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 it is not a potential violation because it's either a shot or it was touched or whatever we have. But we need to be loud and demonstrative on that, so the trail official knows if indeed he's going to kill the play or if we're not going to kill the play. We need to have knowledge of who was the last to touch the ball. We need to have the knowledge of who was the last to possess the ball, because both of those need to have happened to have a potential violation. And finally, at the bottom of the screen, and this goes for everything in your lacrosse game, not just over and back calls, you can't over communicate. What are we looking for? Does the ball break the plane or cross the center line? Let's talk about this official on the screen, his mechanic, his positioning. I don't think you can get much better than this. He's exactly where he needs to be. He's looking straight down the line. He has a fairly good angle on that competitive matchup that's going on. So this is what we need to strive for. A lot of times we're not able to get into this position because of maybe a shot that's off the post, that's flying towards the midfield line. Even though that's not over and back, we need to be in that position to see what's going on there, because there's a potential for problems to happen anytime you've got players competing like this. So, does Team A's long stick keep the ball from touching the line? Where the trail official is right now, he's in perfect position to see if a white or a blue long stick, whoever the Team A is, do they reach the stick across and simply bat the ball and keep it from crossing that line? If they do, that's legal. But if they reach over with the long stick and actually grab the ball and possess it, then we have a violation. Also, if they use any part of their body to touch the ball while they're in the defensive half of the field, that is also a turnover. Where it gets sticky, and honestly, in my opinion, over and back is one of the toughest calls that we can make in boys lacrosse, because it's not just as simple as did the ball cross the plane. You see right here, blue 50 and white 24 jostling for position, trying to get to the ball. In this situation, a lot of times we'll see a foot on the line. And it's not just as simple as, well, his foot's on the line, you're offsides, because there's a possibility that blue 50 could potentially push white 24 from behind, causing him to step on that line. We have to be able to be in a good position to see that happen, because there's an old saying, don't ever let a foul cause a violation or a violation cause a foul. If the kid pushes from behind and causes that offside, we have to get the push. So positioning is crucial. Also, we need to know if Team B gets a ground ball, possesses, and Team A has a quick stick check where that ball flies out over the center line. If B possesses this ball, then we have a reset, and we need to start the 10-second count. If the ball is possessed in the defensive half of the field, that now becomes a 10-second count going the other way. So there's an awful lot going on here. Play on or immediate whistle. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be an immediate whistle. The one time we may have the play on scenario I think of is the ball crosses midfield, maybe in an alley, and there are no Team A players around, just a Team B player who has the ability to scoop that ball up and create an offensive opportunity for his team. In that scenario, it would be a play on. And if he's able to scoop that ball cleanly and take it downfield, then the play on will go away. If something goes awry, we hit the whistle, and then we restart like we would any other time. It's an immediate restart to an extent. It needs to be quick, but we need to make sure that we do not restart with the Team B player with pants on fire. And what I mean by that is no running starts. It's more of a rolling through a stop sign rather than screaming through it. We need to make sure that the ball is restarted at the appropriate spot on the field. And that's never a popular situation with the coach who's going to have the ball. We need to make sure that we bring that player back to the spot it's supposed to restart, and then we start it. And then remember, we have the new rule where it's no longer we back B up 5 yards and restart. We're just going to go ahead and blow that whistle and restart. And it's B's responsibility to create that 5-yard buffer before they can play the ball. Like I said, the biggest thing is that restart is at our discretion. So if you get a ball bouncing across that midfield line at a good rate, we hit the whistle as soon as it crosses the midfield line, and it ends up 10, 15 yards away from midfield. We don't allow that player just to pick it up and we blow it back in. He's got to come back to the spot we blew it in, and then we restart play. It's not over and back. Well, we all know a shot can never be over and back. A loose ball that leaves the offensive half of the field that was last touched by B a loose ball that leaves the offensive half of the field, and B is called for a loose ball violation or play on. And finally, the defensive team causes the ball to go out of bounds in the defensive half of the field. Mechanically, we touched on this a bit. I can't emphasize enough how crucial it is for that trail official to make every attempt possible to be on that center line. It just adds to your credibility. If you're standing in the right spot to make the right call at the right time, it goes a long way. If you're 10 yards away, it's a little harder to sell that to the coach. I've got down here that the single can help out. They absolutely can. Great scenario would be if we have contested play outside the goal area. So we're between the 30 and the 50. And we've got some stuff going on. That single official can drop back on his side of the field and help out if the ball gets checked out of the A player's stick and it's rolling back near the single side's side of the field. The single can absolutely come back and help out with that. I'm not saying run all the way back to midfield, but I am saying that you can help out with a different angle than the trail has. And if the trail is struggling to see something, absolutely jump in and help out. That trail official has to know that when we have a violation, their number one responsibility now is the goal line and the end line. So once you hit that whistle, you have a nice clear signal that's demonstrative, and then you signal direction and you get on your horse and go. Get to the other end of the field. The single official needs to be moving towards the play and restart that play, because that gives the trail official an opportunity to get back to where they need to be, and it also engages that single official to be part of the play. As far as communication, we talked about yes, 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 no, no, no. Make sure it's loud and make sure it's demonstrative. When we have the violation, the signal for the violation is to the right here. It's the same signal as re-entering the crease. And then the proper signal for no, 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 a deflection, is the tipped ball signal. Here's a brief video from US Lacrosse about over and back.
Rule 4-14-3, advancing the ball into the goal area. This new rule, also known as the over and back rule, was added to keep the ball in play in the offensive half of the field once possession has been established in the goal area. This rule also clarifies and adds consistency with other rule sets and removes the concept of intentional to avoid confusion. After successfully advancing into the goal area, if the offensive team carries, passes, or propels the ball to its defensive half of the field, and the offensive team was last in possession and last touched the ball, except on shot, the result will be an immediate turnover or play on. Defensive players may legally bat the ball to keep it in the offensive half of the field, but if it is possessed and their feet are in the defensive half, it shall be a turnover. In this first clip, the offensive team carries the ball into the attack box and the ball is passed to the midfielder at top center, who misses the ball. It rolls across the center line and the trail official correctly ends the play as the offended team does not have a clear play on the ball. In this second clip, the offensive team shoots the ball, which hits a pipe and crosses over the center line. Because the ball crossed due to a deflected shot, this is not over and back, and the play should continue normally. In this third and final clip, an orange defender tips the ball on a pass and it slowly rolls to the center line. The white defender on his defensive half of the field picks up the ball and tosses it back to his teammates on their offensive half of the field. Because of the earlier tip, this is not over and back. However, if the ball had not been tipped, then the white team would be called for over and back because their defender possessed the ball while in his defensive half of the field.
This concludes the over and back presentation. I wish you all the best for the 2021 lacrosse season.